My name is Dan Dorval, and I'm President and CEO of Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. I am an independent certified financial planner and author of my book, Financial Success for the Rest of Us, Reality-Based Financial Planning for Mainstream America.
Hi, my name is Leah Woodley. I'm an associate financial advisor with Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. Our conversations discuss what it means to do quality of life planning in all areas of your life.
Well, we are so happy to honor you as you'll be our May Quality of Life Nurse Award recipient. So congratulations to you.
Well, thank you so much.
You are welcome.
So you were nominated by a coworker. You were nominated by Beth, and
Yes.
she wrote some glowing things about you, talking
Oh,
about your very long career in
yeah.
at Children's.
Yep.
And she talked about how much you care about your patients, your coworkers, everybody that you help, and it comes across as really being an important thing to help improve quality of life for everybody that you touch in your day. So we wanted to honor you for that nomination, but we also wanted to ask you a few questions. So someone with your level of experience of 40, plus years of
Mm.
being a nurse, why don't you just talk a little bit about, how you see things maybe differently now after all this time, or just kind of reflect on your career.
Gosh, it's hard to believe 40 years has gone by. When you hear that, you look around and you go, "Who is that, me?" I mean, it goes by so fast. And then you start working with people that you're like, "Oh, you weren't even a twinkle in your parents' eye," and I was working. And it's what a blessing though. I've been very blessed to work some place that I love, and I always knew I love babies. Everyone that knows me knows, okay, if Kris sees a baby at church, it's like a magnet. I can't focus. There's a baby over there. So I've been very blessed to work with babies my whole career. And yeah, there's been huge changes throughout the 40 years, from the technology that there's been, the medications that there's been, the charting that there's been. When I first started, it was all paper charting, and there was no computerized anything. So it's been a lot of really good changes, and some maybe you look back and you go, circle around. We tried that before. We've done that before, and you see things coming full circle too. But yeah, I am blessed to have a job that I've loved. So
And as far as just, you talk about like your charting has changed and some of these other things have changed. When you talk to, I imagine with your expertise and knowledge, you're probably mentoring a whole bunch of younger nurses, I would guess, right?
well, I do. I think that's the thing that's good about being a bedside nurse is there's also a lot of opportunities. Is that you can have hands-on patient care, and you have the opportunity to help coworkers, and they help me all the time too. And there's also many expanded roles that you can do within being in a hospital nurse. You can be a charge nurse. You can be a delivery room nurse. You can be a mentor. There's a lot of committees that you can be on, so there's a lot of avenues that you can go on through that. And so I hope I've helped mentor some of the younger nurses. I really enjoy doing that, but they've also in turn helped me with a lot of the technology. So
Sure.
it's one of those things that we really need each other. So
So a lot of nurses tell us, I've helped thousands of nurses over the years. A lot of nurses tell us that they feel like there's these some of these changes that have occurred over time. Like there's more technology, but then there's maybe less connection to, the baby and her mom and all of the things that are happening there. And there's so much more demands on you as far as taking care of more and more patients and babies. Can you talk about that a little bit at all and how you see those changes?
I definitely see those changes, with things. There's a lot of pros and cons with computers, right? And that a lot of it, I feel like people focus on the numbers. You know, they focus on the lab work, they focus on numbers, they focus on vital signs. And it's like, well, let's bring them back and let's put the whole picture together here. Let's look at the baby. Let's look at, do your old fashioned nursing assessment. Look at their tone, look at their color, look at, you put the whole picture together. But I think that's true in medicine everywhere. Even when I go to the doctor, everyone's looking at their computer and looking at numbers. And I think we all need to remember, let's put the whole patient together. All systems. There's so many specialties, which is great, but you have to put the whole picture together too.
See, and we appreciate that perspective because, I feel like that idea of quality of life, the part of the reason we're honoring nurses for contributing to quality of life is that idea that this person needs you at a time where they feel maybe pretty vulnerable and it's a big change in their life. And so setting aside some of the technology, the numbers, whatever, and thinking about them, caring about them as a real person that's going through this major life change, we feel that's just so impactful and want to acknowledge your work for that.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. So thank you.
One question we like to ask is if there is any advice you would give to other nurses who are looking to make an impact and improve the quality of life of their patients or their fellow nurses or even just in their community, what advice would you give?
I'd advise that find a job that you really love. Find where that passion is and something that you really love to do and hands-on. And like I said earlier, there's so many with nursing. There's so many avenues that you can go down with that job. But to find something that you love to do, and then every day that you go to work, just give it your all, that you're there for that baby, that family, and your coworkers. I work with amazing coworkers. And that is a big reason why we come to work too. But I think my advice would be to find something that you love to do, but also, sometimes, some days you just want to say, just don't sweat the small stuff, just kind of let some of that go and move on. But
Well, how hard is it to let go when you see, because you've been in the NICU, right?
yes, I have my entire career.
And so when you're in the NICU, you're seeing oftentimes very sick babies. And, how hard is that to leave that at work and then move on with your life when you go home? How tough is that for nurses?
Oh, it's extremely tough. There are some days, and then some impact you more than others, but it's very hard. Especially when you spend so much time with that mom and dad, their story. And even though they can have a lot of support outside, with family and friends, the story inside. You know what they've been through, what that baby has been through, what the family has been through. And so you do take that to heart. And it is hard to let it go some days. But that's when you know that you trust your coworkers and you give them a thorough report and you hand it over, and then you trust that they're being very well taken care of too.
Well, we appreciate you and all you have done over a very long career of helping babies and their families, and appreciate you sharing your perspective. We don't know how many nurses will watch this type of video, but we hope that you are an inspiration to others that are out there and celebrate you for all you have done.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate
This
that.
this this award that we give out, we actually haven't even had that many nominations. It's nurses
Yeah.
don't tend to think about like honoring themselves, like honoring
Yeah.
nurses.
Yeah.
They tend to be, I don't know, they don't like to do that. So when Beth nominated you, we just felt it was a very appropriate nomination and feel like it's exactly the reason, like the spirit of this award and why we're doing what we're doing. So we are going to actually send you a $500 check.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That is to acknowledge those contributions. We've been honoring a nurse every month for coming up. It's been about a year now.
Yeah,
So,
it has been exactly a year.
Wow. That's
so
awesome.
we appreciate you taking the time and Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.